Yeah, let's hit record so I can see
All
my
right.
internet and how
We're
it freaks
recording.
out. Hopefully,
Get trashed.
get trashed.
Oh yeah, I can see the the command strips where those pictures are on the wall, Chad.
Yeah, can you see them?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Dude, I got to a part where he was like roasting you again over the pronunciation of the character names.
Oh yeah, he was really riding me hard this last episode about that. He was keeping track of it in the chat, like
That's
a
hilarious.
score of how many times I messed it up.
Well, patrons, Patreon members, welcome.
Yeah.
While we wait for Nick to come back, I don't know where he escaped to.
I'm doing things.
All right.
My camera.
Well, see, he put on the intro, and all of a sudden his camera's off, and he's doing some things. So
We need to see you in your 1080 goodness.
I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, maybe
720 or whatever is what's below 720.
480.
480.
Yeah, but anyways,
It's a boomer
patrons,
mic.
thank you guys so much for your
Boomer.
support. We
Booming
appreciate it. We're going to be wrapping up the Pale Beyond series tonight. This
Boominati.
recording, the Boominati. I like that. Might need to use that later.
It's an elite club.
Yeah, speaking of elite clubs, we're in the StreamYard Elite Club professional tier now. So maybe, hopefully, this video is a nice crispy 1080p quality for you viewers.
And hopefully you can tell the difference, unlike Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully. Or else
Dude, it's substantial.
$111 down the
I
drain.
don't understand how you can't see. It's a pretty substantial jump.
Yeah, I can
Like
see it.
I felt
That's good.
compelled. So I got on when you said it was going to be 1080p. I got on here on the camera, and there you go. Put your glasses on. Jeez,
Okay,
Boominati.
really booming it up over there. I got on to
Stanley.
check to see how the camera looked,
Yeah.
and I felt compelled to go downstairs and do my hair because I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's like really like you could actually see me." So maybe I should like do something with myself.
That's awesome. I've been in the mines of Moria for too long. Like everything is just darkness. So anyways, yes, Pale Beyond. We're wrapping it up tonight. We're gonna be going through
Wrap it up,
weeks
kids.
30 through the end of the game. Which I want to say probably the same amount of weeks for all of us. But we'll find out. And before we get
Right.
into
Take
anything,
notes.
oh, I
Sorry.
hope so. Or it's gonna be a weird conversation.
Skirt.
We have been tossing around the idea of what our next Patreon series will be.
What?
And maybe I think we're all in agreement for Jedi Survivor, but we haven't like really confirmed.
Oh,
So do we want to confirm that now while we're sitting here?
Confirmed.
All right.
Downloading
That's a
now.
big game, though, right?
Yeah,
It's
we'll
a big
figure out
game,
the
yeah.
we'll figure out the breakdown at some
Ooh.
point. But Chad or Dad found that it's on EA Play, so that's nice. Might scoop that up. Yeah, so maybe we'll do Jedi Survivor.
More like EA. Never mind.
EA.
EA slay some Sith, bro.
Not what I was thinking.
All right, let's get into Pale. That's what our listeners are here for. So we left off, at least I left off at week 28. Does that sound right for you guys? Because of the
32.
I think I
Yeah.
left off at 32. Yeah.
28 would have been like the cutoff of last episode because of the
Okay,
time jump. So we would be starting week 32. That sound right across the board?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, we're still in our little tent dome, trying to not freeze during the winter months here. Let's see. Let's just do a recap of where we left off. I ended week 28 with 80 decorum, 12 fuel, and 19 food, with 1 freezing, 1 injured, 1 malnourished, and 3 with frostbite. Chad, where did you end week 28 with?
Well, let's look, shall we? I ended with. Jeez, that explains so much, actually. I ended with 55 decorum, 1 fuel, 9 food, and I think I have like 3 people maybe that are freezing.
Kind of like
It's just you're
where
gonna
he
see
is
how,
right now.
yeah, you're gonna have to see how quickly this all went downhill for me. I thought I was doing so good.
Okay.
Oh,
Dad,
was I frozen? Of
you were
course,
a
right?
little. It was just
Yeah.
like in character, you know.
Yeah.
Matt,
like you were
Chad's
explaining.
method podcasting over here. Father.
So week 28, I ended with 52 decorum, 11 fuel, 38 food, and everyone freezing. I think. I don't know.
Everyone.
A lot of people are cold. You know, it's a whole thing. A whole bunch of crybabies. You know, whatever. We're
Bunch
a lot
of
of us are alive.
crybabies.
A lot more of them are about to die, so it's all good.
The pale god over there, I'm sure he ended with like 150 decorum, food gauge at max, fuel
He's got-
gauge at
Got this
max.
game figured out.
Yeah.
It's loading. I was gonna
His
look.
crew's doing so good they're actually reproducing and having children in this tent.
Wow.
I'm actually at 32 crew. Lots of runts running around.
Lots of runs.
Helping out the
Yeah.
furnace. But yeah, I came into these weeks fairly strong. Really just still battling the frost hack, right? You let them freeze a little bit, cure all their frostbite. We would completely avoid scurvy and all malnutrition, poisoning. So
Wow.
I'm still never gonna get this right. Oh, 32. 24 people, 61 decorum, 38 food, 72 fuel. So we
Sheesh.
gassed up.
So much fuel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you got a ridiculous.
So if I were to
amount of
load
fuel.
week 32,
Wow.
that's where I would start off with. Now, if I
Nice.
understand your question correctly.
Yeah,
yes.
pretty nice setup for week 32.
You don't want to hear it the next week. We don't even want to talk about it.
Dude, that's impressive though, because I have 1, and I was sitting pretty decent on penguins going into this. At least I thought, but
Ugh.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I'm still convinced that my game glitched out in some way, and my penguins like came back to life and wandered away.
Mr. Glass helped him escape,
Yeah.
or whatever his name was. Yeah, I'm actually I'm super excited to see how this ended for everyone, because I'm pretty sure we all probably got very different endings. So I'm excited to walk through that. But started week 32 by assigning 2 crew to the med bay. You know, I had a lot of stuff piling up there. So I threw in one of my people that had frostbite and malnourishment, and one that just had frostbite. But that left me with 1 injured and freezing and 1 with frostbite. So I assigned my engineers to cure the freezing. And then it was request time. Did you guys do anything like of note before doing requests, or no?
No, basic stuff.
All right. So requests started up. Yorick came in, and if you remember, he was the one who asked to go search for the Banweir. I believe that's what it was called. He came in. He apologized for asking to go chase monsters. Templeton scolded him and me for letting him go, and of course, Templeton just being his old turd self. Nutley, he comes in and wants to talk about a crew member he examined, and he didn't want to talk to us like right there with Templeton. He wanted a little bit of privacy for the crew member's sake, and Templeton, of course, is angry that he doesn't get to know. But was that what happened for you guys too? Yeah.
I had 1 before this, just to catch up with last week. I sent those people out to hunt the monster, the creature that everybody found. So York, I think York is his name. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah.
Comes back and there was no monster. Womp womp. There was nothing. They saw nothing. They brought nothing back.
Now, did you
But
send
scars, and I think I a couple might have got hurt or came
Yep.
back freezing or something like that.
Did you send out the max number of people?
I believe I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sent 4. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
'cause
think they all came back in some fashion.
Okay. I only sent Yorick, so I was wondering if there would be a difference in our findings, but it sounds like no.
Well, I think not a difference in the findings. I just got more people that needed
more
taken care of when they got
ailments,
back. Yeah.
Anything different for you, Nick or Dad? Or is that pretty much wrap up the requests for this
That was
week?
it for
I think
me.
so, because they keep the narrative here really
Yeah.
brief as they lead into the next day here, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So after dinner, Nutley and Kurt are in the doctor's tent. And
Yes.
this is a conversation that Nutley wanted to have. Kurt has an arrhythmia in his heart and is being diagnosed with cardiomyopathy. And basically, Nutley's like, Kurt, you got to take it easy. You got to chill, dude. You might die. Kurt, of course, is ticked because he wants to do everything he can to be the navigator of this crew. He's mad, but he's like, all right, well, at least I can still offer some guidance. I order him to rest, and that, of course, loses 15 loyalty with Kurt, but
Whoop-de-doo.
15 with Nutley. But losing loyalty with Kurt is not a big deal because literally all you got to do is say hi to him. It's like +5.
And he loves you again.
Yeah.
Hammond and Templeton are having a conversation. Hammond tells Templeton that, basically making fun of him, like, oh, Templeton, why are you so angry that you didn't get to know like what Nutley was talking about? I always appreciate Hammond's jabbing of Templeton.
Dude, Hammond's the awesome dude. He's the guy.
Yeah.
There's something really awesome at the end with him, maybe, potentially.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get to the end.
I can't either because honestly, I think I certainly got the bad ending. Maybe not the worst ending if there's more than 2 endings.
There has to
but
be.
I definitely got a bad one. So I was going to actually replay back through it and see because I think I know where I branched off and got the bad ending, but I was like, I'd rather just find out on the podcast. What happened, you know what I mean? So I didn't.
Yeah, I'm very anxious to hear how Nick ended because he is like perfect run going over there. So, but yeah, ended up finishing the week with 94 decorum, 30 fuel, and 46 food.
Dang, man,
decorum through the roof, bro. What are you scared of?
I don't know. I just know how to make my people happy for some reason, even though I send the freezing and injured out or the freezing and starving out on missions and stuff. But I couldn't even finish my sleep because I'm awoken by the sound of dogs barking. And so of course, I kind of like how they play, kind of makes it sound like or seem like you're kind of dreaming, I think. But yeah, the dogs are getting, or maybe I'm thinking about another part in the future, but dogs are getting excited about something. So we come out and the ice is cracking. And we're left with a crazy decision as the ice is cracking, lamps are falling over, everything's catching on fire. So finally, for once, we're probably not freezing.
Yeah, but valid.
But we're prompted with the option to save 1 tent. I only noted 2 down because there was the 2 that I was choosing between, but I think there was 3 total.
There is 3, yeah.
You could choose the kennel, which had like the guns and of course dogs and stuff. There was the supplies, which of course had like your supplies and stuff. But what was the third one?
Medical tent, right?
The medical tent, that's right. Which had your comforts and stuff like that.
This explains a lot.
I
thought one of them was the hooch. Wasn't one of them the hooch?
Oh, maybe there was 4 then. There might have been 4.
I wrote down, gave 1 to the hooch. So
okay,
you could say food. They already took the furnace and everything that was in it. Same with the hooch, but you can grab more food, or you can go to the kennel with the guns and a dog, and then the medical tent.
Okay, I was torn between the kennel and the supplies. What were you guys torn between any, or did you have a pretty clear like option that you were thinking?
I had 8 medical comforts, so I took those.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
jeez. Yeah, that's probably a
Dang.
safe bet.
Nick's running like a
Um,
little factory over there.
That's right. Keep those scientists
Yeah, I don't
busy.
think I was too torn.
I mean, the hack in my game is that I can put 3 people on the furnace, and I only need 2 scientists to make comforts. So, like, those are both very nice perks to have.
Yeah.
Manpower.
I chose the kennels. What'd you choose,
Oh.
Chad? Had to get the guns.
I chose the food.
Okay, what'd you choose, Dad?
I was actually just clicking through.
Nice.
So it is
And
okay. It is the
and it was-
supply tent. Is what I
Okay.
went for.
It was also the dogs for me, unintentionally.
Nice.
Fuck those dogs. We don't need them, man.
Oh, Don't worry,
I need
we
my
get to that later.
supplies. Yeah,
We
we
get
get
to
to
that
that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I lost my engineering tools, the Apperton crates, and my medical comforts, which was a
Hold
swift
on.
kick to the shin.
What?
So it's now week 37, yes?
Yes.
Well,
when we
yeah,
boot up
after we
next,
finish
yes.
this, yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
Like 5
Big
freaking
sleep.
weeks, man.
Big
I
sleep.
know. Yeah.
Big nap.
Along with losing all those supplies and things, basically everyone in my crew is injured at this point because of this whole ordeal. Was that the same across the board for you guys? Like a bunch of people got hurt
Oh,
during
yeah.
this?
Yep. Hurt, cold. Yeah.
As it's a very colorful little people of life at the bottom of my screen.
Though I assume if you already
Red, all
had
blue.
people like frozen and injured and or malnourished, do they like double down and become frostbitten?
Yeah, I
Dead.
think. Yeah, I think so. I think I ended up with like 2 or 3 people wounded, a couple people frostbitten from the people that I hadn't cured yet from the hunt, or the searching for the beast. And then I think this probably happened to everybody, but like my fuel and my food was like the max was lowered on from 100 to 75 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So before this, basically at the end of week 32, I guess, right before you skip into this, I had changed my approach and I've loaded everything into both the hooch and the furnace to like max those out, which is helpful because when they take the furnace and they take the hooch, you only get to keep what's in it, unless you obviously grab the food. But the fuel is the suck part because you don't have an option to save fuel that I'm aware of. But I didn't have any fuel anyways. I was just throwing seals in there.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, so crew's in shambles. We lost all of our stuff except, I guess I went the American way and grabbed the guns. But here we are. We arrive at week 37. Another time jump. Actually, the last time jump. And we started off with a captain's log, which I wrote down. So let me read.
Dang.
Captain Shaw, personal log. New camp has been formed in the aftermath of the ice split at the close of winter. However, the crew cannot rest at this time. After a long journey, the shore has been reached. In the coming week, the crew will sail out on the lifeboats in search of proper land. Soon this ice shall be left behind. The ice split proved to be a truly traumatic experience for the crew. The fact that the crew escaped with all lives intact is nothing short of extraordinary. All rests on the shoulder of the captain. A failure to act in that crucial moment, a failure to fully prepare for such an extreme scenario. The fact that no life was lost was a mark of tremendous fortune. To that end, the crew must sail out onto the open sea. I trust the crew's capabilities. And yeah, Oh wait, there's one more little paragraph. A team of fit and well-experienced sailors alongside a navigator of the caliber of Kurt Darling. Though it may seem daunting, the sail may prove to be the most comfortable task for the crew. Sailing is their lifeblood. They are more equipped for this than they are anything else. And here we are, the edge of the ice. We made it to the destination. By the way, Viscount's nowhere to be found.
Get the boats.
And I'm sitting here thinking, well, one, great, winter's over. That's good news.
Low can.
Two, not great. I have like no supplies, and basically my crew is like hanging on on life support right now. But you know, the whole, you know, we're getting ready to sail out. I'm like, maybe this is the end. Maybe I've reached the end. Are we just gonna like limp out of this game? And yeah, that was not the case. So I started
you,
out.
maybe.
Started out assigning 2 crew to the med bay, but I don't have any comforts, which really sucked. One was wounded, one had frostbite. I assigned 1 engineer to the furnace to cure my last freezing crew. Did you guys do anything before requests?
Did that. Use my comforts to
Same.
instantly heal
Yeah.
people and load up in there.
Okay. So
Can't have wounded people.
some
Mike.
routine camp cleanup.
Is the wounded thing, was that like just a rarity through the game, or is that something new? Were there
You
other
could
people that
get
got
on
wounded?
injured.
hunts
Yeah.
hunts of big game. Anytime you use
Yeah.
the
Okay.
bolt action rifle, like the leopard seals and stuff,
Somebody
you got
came
or
back
the
wounded.
walruses.
Okay.
Yeah, you had a
Mhm.
chance to
Yeah.
get. Actually, not a chance. It was guaranteed
One
one
would
person
be
would get
injured,
injured.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Banweir adventure caused some injuries
Right.
too.
Oh, yeah.
And someone got injured when the first time on the original ship when the boiler blows. Someone gets
yeah.
injured in that situation. Whoever you assign to like one of the valves gets injured.
That's right.
Chad just
all
let
right.
him die, and they never thought about it again.
I just don't.
Yeah.
When that popped up, I was like, "That's a color I'm not used to seeing all that often." So
That's good.
Yeah.
You don't want dead people.
That is true. So it was request time. Hammond, he comes in. He's got a problem. Shocking. The compasses don't work. I asked if we can wait just a little bit longer, but we can't because if we wait longer, we could miss the rescue ship, which of course would suck. Nutley, he came in. He said he arranged a few crates to treat the injured from the ice split, but we can't make any more medical comforts, which for Nick, not an issue, but I feel like the rest of us, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, and
And
Next.
then lastly, Templeton wants to chat. He says he doesn't think that the dogs will be able to sail. I tell him I don't have time for it. He says one of us will have to tell Cordell that the dogs won't be coming with. I tell him that it's my decision to make, not his, and that I don't appreciate being patronized. I tell him he's wasting my time.
damn,
I'm done
you
with
hardlined
Templeton.
him. I'm not done with him. I'm entertaining
-10.
him.
Negative
man.
10.
Dog, you gotta work that dude. It's
Mm.
easy.
He's after what we just
No,
went
dude.
through.
yeah, dude, I hate him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That guy sucks.
Your guys' managerial skills are poor.
No, we just know who's needs weeded
Who's
out.
the yep, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, my decorum's pretty high. I mean, I don't know. The crew
Yeah.
seems to be
Mine-
okay.
Mine isn't, and I still. Never
I
mind.
still know.
I still know. Dang it! And the
Uh,
ending proves it.
How did Dad and Chad? Did you guys basically have the same conversation with Templeton? Or you just kind of told him to go suck an egg?
No, I think I actually agreed with him, and I said I'll tell her. So
Mhm.
that's the path that I took.
Okay.
He wanted to tell her, I think, and then I was like, "Nah, dude, just shut your fucking mouth for a second. I'll go tell her."
Nick, I'm assuming you just placated him.
I mean, I was like, yeah, what do you want? Yeah, I'll listen. Actually, wherever it's just let him continue pops up, I choose that. And don't feed into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's a toughie. I'll go talk to her. So you know, just kind of keeping him at arm's length. But I'm not like insulting him like Dad does.
What
Yeah.
do you mean?
You're so mean, Dad. Angry Dad, mean Dad,
One old guy
He's
to
a
another.
mad dad.
beats me, Dad.
Oh, sheesh, that escalated quickly.
Nick, what I tell you about talking about stuff like that on
See?
air?
No back talking.
Don't make me come
on
up
the
there.
internet.
I need to bring out my step ladder
Yeah, exactly.
with my.
Oh, man.
Never mind. Continue.
So after the requests, we have the Cordell conversation.
Yeah.
She wants to talk and just like straight up asks if I'm gonna shoot her dogs. I'm like, dang, dude. But I'm like, I don't know. What do you think?
Yep.
I got +5 loyalty for that,
Wow.
for asking
weird-
her opinion.
It's a weird conversation because,
Yeah.
like, part of
She
it's
knows.
like,
She
yeah,
already
she
knows.
knows, but also she's just like jumping the gun, like, you're just gonna shoot him. You should probably just shoot him. It's like,
Can we like
Whoa.
talk this out a little bit first?
Pump
the
before we-
brakes.
But yeah, so I ask what she thinks. That gets me some loyalty points. She mourns over the fact that it has to be done. Rip, and then is like, "Do you have kids?" I'm like, "What? Jeez, dude."
No.
Like, I say yes, and that I want to see them again. She says that the dogs are all she has. I tell her that she has us, and that I'm trying to do what's best for the crew. And then this was this moment of gameplay was very stressful for me because we're given two choices. We can let the dogs stay and have nature take its course, as in like let the dogs stay behind before we sail off and let them freeze to death out here on the ice, or we can go shoot the dogs and or we can leave her a boat and let her slip away at night,
yeah.
which would really just be killing all the dogs and a person.
Yep. Slip away where?
So yeah, exactly. So Nick, what did you choose?
So I was like, yeah, we need to let nature take its course. I got the vibe that she like didn't completely agree with that, but there's a little bit of sympathy there. But it's like they're gonna suffer. It's like, yeah, but we need bullets, bruh. Like we can't be. It's 14 dogs. That's at least 14 bullets. Can't imagine we have that much
That's-
ammo.
That's big.
Just
brain right
line them
there.
up, you know?
Ooh. See, then now that's
Yeah,
getting
that's-
really morbid. Like
Some of
That's
those
just-
armor
that's just-
piercing around.
it's not like
messed
you're gonna be
up.
like, get the engineers over here to figure out how we,
Yeah.
the most efficient way to murder these dogs. No, yeah. So it's like, yeah, we're just gonna let nature takes its course. We need to conserve ammunition and all that jazz.
What'd you do, Dad?
Same, but I also let her take Stanberry with her.
Wait,
Yes.
you let her go?
No.
No, to go
Uh-oh.
with Cordell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At the end,
Okay.
she asks that. I
Yeah.
think right before, like one last thing.
Yeah.
What'd you do, Chad?
Yeah, same thing. I said we needed the ammunition. No shooting the dogs. We're gonna leave them behind. She can stay, and Stanberry can also stay.
Yes.
I shot the dogs.
Oh my God, you violent
I didn't want them to
bitch.
suffer. I didn't want them to suffer.
It's not your job.
Because in our conversation, she said that she didn't want them to suffer. And then she was like, when I said, we were going to take that step, she's like, all right, just back of the head, sever the spinal cord. Don't let them suffer.
Oh my God! Wow, dude, I just couldn't bring myself to do it, dude. Because
way.
those dogs were like a very important part of the entire playthrough.
They were.
Basically.
Yeah.
So I couldn't. I just let them.
Yeah, no
But
way.
if I just let them stay on the island, I can pretend like in my head that they're surviving out there in the wilderness, like wolves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need to watch them get all
Yeah.
murdered.
I only chose that out of mercy, because it's equally sad just imagining them all freezing to death and
Yeah.
starving, or like falling into the freezing water if the ice melts and then just drowning. But yeah, I told her that I would see to it myself. It was rough, but I did. Like you guys said, when I go to leave, she calls me Robin. She calls us Robin by our first name, which doesn't happen super often. She asks to keep Stanberry, and of course I say yes. I need my replacement captain after all, and that gives me a big plus 20 loyalty, even though I just told her I was going to murder basically her children.
Right. Yeah.
Are you loyal with her, or is she loyal with you at this point?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, at least with that plus 20 for sure.
Yeah. Next up, I give the order. I decided to stay true to my word and handle it myself, because it gives you an option to just have the crew do it.
What'd you want, Dad?
And I get plus 5 loyalty again. Like, even though I'm doing like super brutal thing, I'm gaining a lot of loyalty. But yeah, you have like this weird interaction with the dog where you can like pet it, and of course I do.
Yeah.
And then I shoot it.
think
And then
all
you
we
can
got
take
was-
all of the dogs' bodies and use them for food or fuel.
Oh wow!
What?
Brutal.
Which is
You
just,
are a
like,
different type
brutal.
of monster,
injury.
man.
You didn't do it,
Yeah,
did you?
cannibal. You would turn into a
Oh,
cannibal.
I
if you
definitely
were
took
stranded
him.
on an island.
I took them, but
Wow.
we didn't eat them.
Oh, that makes it better. You just burned them.
Did you
that
use
makes
them?
It makes it so much better.
I think we'll see what my notes say for the next 2 weeks. But I think if I did use 1 or 2, it was as fuel. But like if you eat them, it like gives you malnourishment, and then you lose decorum.
Well, yeah,
Ah,
no shit.
man. Wonderful.
No.
That's
really?
disgusting.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
messed
saving
up.
up that decorum, you know.
Jeez.
But yeah, so what were the details of just leaving them? Anything crazy like any of that?
Nope.
You
You shoot a gun off when you're sailing away
That's
to
after
like
you're
scare
leaving.
them, but that's
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, that conversation is just over. It's like, yeah, you get to keep Stanberry, and we're just gonna leave
Mm.
them.
Yeah, and then we got the same option to pet Stanberry. I think was the only one that you could pet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Did we talk about our stats here at the beginning of week 37?
at the
At the
well,
beginning or the
we
end?
talked about
Or
the
the
end of week 32, but we haven't
Okay.
got to the end of week 37 yet.
Got it.
But I don't have anything else of note to talk about. So do any of you want to go? What'd you end with, Nick?
I ended with 24 people. No change there. 66 decorum. It went up. Forget why. Forget why. Why did I get plus 5? Forget. 100 food, 100 fuel.
what?
Max.
What
Wow.
the hell?
Bro.
Wow, this guy.
You need to
That's
make a
impressive.
walkthrough of this game.
If you
Yeah.
load up both those things before the bad thing happens, it
Oh,
comes
solid.
with it.
Yeah.
You don't have
Dad,
to be
you're
throwing
eating.
dogs in the furnace like a freak.
Yeah, I'm just out here trying to survive, bro. Chad, why don't you go next since Dad was eating something?
Yeah, I did food and fuel both at half. Decorum was 50, fuel was 0, and food was 10. And again, I'm down to 75 on both of those.
Mm. Dad, what'd you end with?
32 decorum, 13 fuel, 12 food, and 1 dog.
Mm. So I ended with 94 decorum, 39 fuel, 46 food. I did half rations of food and no fuel, which left me with 8 freezing, 4 of which are also injured from the tent ordeal, and 1 of which is also malnourished. I did end up getting 3 research and 5 emperor penguins though, so I guess that's good.
Mhm.
And a handful of dog corpses. Then it's week 38. So we start the week in the request tent. Templeton tells us it's time to set sail, and the Stoke brothers are waiting. So you can go up and talk to them, obviously. I go up, I ask how the boats are looking. They look weathered, but we can make it. We still have to assign crew to stations. And I gave Junior Captain Hunt's hat, which gained 5 loyalty with each brother. How did your guys' conversations with the Stokes go, Chad?
About the same.
Dad?
Yep.
Same. Although I didn't give him a hat
Hmm.
because Stanberry ate it.
Oh, yeah. I did that my first playthrough, and I was like, oh, well, I guess not having that hat anymore. Nicholas?
Yeah, it went good, I think.
Yeah.
They love me.
Were you
They
loyal
love
with both of
Everyone
them?
loves you.
Yeah. Even though his decorum is at half, like he's just.
But that
dapping
has nothing to do with
everyone
loyalty.
around.
Decorum
It doesn't
is
have anything to do with
completely
loyalty,
separate.
Yeah.
That is true. But everyone's like sad but loyal.
I have 71 decorum at this point.
Nice.
Keeps going up for some reason. I don't know why.
All right. Well, we set sail. So in my boat, so we have 3 boats here. You have the boat that you're in. You have a boat that Junior is in, and a boat that Grimly is in. And you have to assign your crew spread out across the 3 boats. My boat has 7 crew. I didn't write down which crew members were in which boat. But 8 crew members went into Junior's boat, and 7 went into Grimly's. Did any of you note who went into whose boat, or you just kind of divvied them up out?
Yeah,
so
I
that
tried.
even-
Yeah, I didn't write down the specifics of who went in, but I tried to divvy it up like according to their job, basically. So one person from each, at
Right.
least on there, a couple people.
I kind of did that
That's how I
too.
divvied it up.
Yeah, I was suspicious that like we're gonna lose a boat or something, and you'd be like,
Yeah, so was
screwed.
I. Yeah.
So I'm like engineer each boat, scout each boat, scientist each
same.
boat.
Yep.
Nice.
I don't need scientists anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Instead of the dogs, he actually took the scientists out back.
Yeah, I unlocked a secret. If you have the right loyalty, you unlock that option, and you basically say, you know what, we're keeping the dogs at Templeton, and we are murdering your scientists and you.
Oh, geez.
That's
That'd
perfect.
be something else. So at this point, we're sailing away. So get off the ice. We'll see you guys on the other side. The sailing was really
Dude.
cool, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Just
Very
getting to
long.
see- it was super
So
long. It got really
long.
intense too.
It did, yeah. Yeah.
So you kind of it starts out beautiful. You have like this big zoomed out aerial scene. The scenery is awesome. You see the ice and there's like birds flying. Yes.
Bird poops on Nutley, which is fun.
Does
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It would. It would. But yeah, as the journey goes on, like the seas get rougher and things get super intense. Waves start pounding into the boats, and like
Singing.
at one point, yeah, all the sailors start
Cussing
singing
and
their
singing.
sea shanties, and like you can join in with them or not. And of course, every option I got, I was joining in with the sailors and stuff. But
Same.
yeah,
Yeah.
the seas get super rough, and we actually end up losing a boat, or at least I did. Did you guys lose a boat?
What?
Chad
Yes.
did. Dad,
guys
did you
lost
lose a boat?
boats?
I take it
No.
Dad did not, and Nick did not. Okay.
Nope. I
Okay.
lost two
Wow.
boats.
I wonder
Oh,
what.
You lost
what-
2 boats?
What?
2 boats. Holy crap.
I don't even know how.
Okay, we
Did
need
you
to get
join
into
in on the
this.
singing? That has to be the reason.
I did join
did.
in on the singing.
Yeah,
So
we need to
orange-
I
figure out what
decided not to
happened.
cuss at the sea though.
Mm.
Oh, I did.
Maybe I should have cussed at the
Maybe
sea.
you should have. Yeah, you should.
What did So Nick, having not lost a single boat, what did you do?
I mean,
Like what happened?
Yeah,
we rode
please.
our boats. We sang. We all sang together, and we went over the crest of the big wave, and all was well. I mean, I don't remember too many like mechanical options through all this. There's a lot of just click next, click
It
next.
had to
click
be.
next.
It had to be something in the background, your loyalty or something.
So you were loyal to both, right?
Loyal to what?
Stoke Brothers.
Everyone's loyal to me.
Okay.
Got a heart
I wonder if
that's
that has
not.
to do something. All right. So
Or is
Chad,
it who you put on the boats? Maybe I don't
That's a
know.
good question. We
But
might
we
have to
bo-
do some like
I'm curious now because
week,
How did I-
reloading to see how Nick had his setup and how we all had ours.
Yeah.
Chad, who did you lose? You lost one boat, yeah.
So I did lose one boat. The ones that I wrote down two, but there were a couple others. But I lost Yorick and Runt really hit me hard because I like took that little fucker in. You know what I mean? So that
What
one
was
like,
it? Was it Junior's
absolutely-
boat or Grimley's boat?
Oh, I didn't write down whose boat it was. Yeah.
And you lost both, Dad. Yeah. Okay. I lost Grimley's boat, and 8 crew went down with him. I didn't write down which crew. But of the two brothers, I think Grimley was the one I had the least amount of loyalty with. So I don't know if that has something to do with it.
AI
Your
knows the
loyalty's at
answer.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear it.
So hang on. Let me before you answer that. Did you only have 2 boats, Mike?
I had 3.
Oh,
Mine,
you did have 3. Okay, it sounded like you were talking like you only had 2 boats.
No. It's my boat, Junior's boat, and Grimley's boat.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so the most important factor, and this makes sense, the morale and loyalty of your crew members are major determinants. If you've managed to keep morale high and maintain loyalty throughout the game, your crew will follow your leadership more effectively, increasing the chances that all boats make it through. So basically, in those moments of like unification of everything,
Yeah.
if morale or loyalty is low, Dad, some crew members may act out or refuse to cooperate, which can lead to mistakes and increase the risk of losing boats. Boat condition? I don't know what that means. Crew assignments, weather conditions. Yeah, basically it's like morale and loyalty are the big ones.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be.
I had 71 morale, and everyone's loyal to me.
I had
Now,
32.
but now, my question is, for the people you lost, were those people loyal to you or disloyal to you?
Well,
some of
I
those
think
people were loyal.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
good
it-
point.
But the leader,
It matters like between Grimley and Junior's
the-
loyalty, because who's on their ship is your choice to load up, but like which
True.
of their ships
I don't
goes
think I had
down.
either. Obviously, I didn't have either of their loyalty.
Yeah,
So
it'd be great.
It
We
looks
need to get Bellular on an episode and just like go all in, ask him all these questions. Full on
it
spoiler
looks
cast with the
like
creator.
oh, that would be sweet.
It would be sweet.
It looks like that I maybe lost Grimley's.
Okay.
What are the 2 options?
Grimley and Junior, the Stoke
Okay,
brothers.
it looks like it might be
Grimley was the accordion
because I talked
player.
to I have on here after we hit land that I had talked to Grimley about his brother's death. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, so even though we both lost one boat, we lost a different one.
different
Interesting.
one. Yeah,
So we had all scenarios play out.
yeah.
Yeah, so we get to the shore. I lose like roughly about 1 million loyalty with Junior. Though through consoling him, I gained 15 loyalty back. He still says that I killed his brother.
ouch.
I'm like, hey, I wasn't sailing his boat, bro. Like, I think he was like holding the accordion or something. I don't know. We left it on the shore, and then visited the grave site, of course. But yeah, Chad, how was your conversation with Grimly about Junior?
I think it went about the same as yours. Did we lose the same person? We lost different
No.
people.
You lost
Yeah.
two different brothers.
Two different people. Yeah, I didn't write the conversation down, so.
Okay.
But
Dad,
I too did lose like a considerable amount of loyalty. I think it was like literally like 60. Like,
yeah,
it just kept popping on the
it
thing.
was a lot.
It was a lot, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dad, did you have anyone to have a conversation with when
So
you arrived?
my conversation went like this.
I guess I'm the only one here now.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
Yeah,
here
who
now.
was
Son of a-
left, Dad?
Just the main people. So like Templeton, Kurt,
Hmm.
Kasha,
Tasha, Nutley.
Nutley,
Cordell.
Cordell.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that was it.
Oh, so they all went in your boat, huh? Lucky
So
ducks.
really, it's the crew that you have a chance of really losing the Stoke brothers and a bulk of the crew.
Whoever.
Right.
Yep.
But all the other important characters stick around.
So
Yeah.
once we made it to land, my decorum was at 0. And I was waiting for the game over screen, but it did not happen.
Yeah.
It stayed at 0.
You made it that far.
It's probably like,
yeah,
he's close.
I think
close
once you
enough.
get to week 38, like your
It doesn't matter
your
anymore.
food
locked
and
in,
decorum,
yeah.
you're
Well,
Well, because
in it
there's
to
a
the
part
end.
where it says, "Are you sure you want to continue?" Because I think it's when you set sail.
Yeah.
Like it asks
Yeah,
you.
right.
"You're
I think
sure
it
you
probably
wanna
determines the ending. What ending you get is probably once you log
Right.
in at week 38 is whatever.
And which
ending
makes
you get. I
sense.
think
So
there's
all
more
the-
choices, but
all the decorum and morale in your choices probably add up. Then you set sail. It determines how many boats you lose. And then that, because really, if you look, there's like 4 sections here that are all in week 39. And it's like midday, it's like morning, midday, afternoon. So really, it's the next like 24 hours. So all those mechanics are kind of canned and capped over.
Candace,
Now-
what you did there.
Now, is there a cycle here before we have like camp? Because there's like I get a camp, and
Yeah,
there's
there's
okay.
still stuff to do.
but there's a
so
camp.
Yeah, I did stuff.
yeah. So after visiting the grave site, we come across like the cairn. What is?
Cairn.
however you
Cairn.
say it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, cairn.
weird
Know what you
word. But yeah, basically a rock locker. And inside it we have what? I mean, that's what it is.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Inside we find a letter from the Viscount, which is
And a
great
rifle.
sign. And a rifle. Yes. And here's what the letter said. We made our arrival on the east shore of the island. Before moving on, we established a cabin to mark the landing point. There you will find enough supplies to support a crew of 20 for a full year, which Dad is like, with my crew of 4, we could
7.
live here forever.
We're solid.
7. Perfect. We'll stay here. It's fine.
While charting the perimeter of the island, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. Captain Whelan decided to split the crew in order to chart the location further. His half have elected to enter the cave through the open stream, while we have been sent to mark the western coast on land. I don't trust the captain. His actions of late have been erratic, cagey. He's avoided all questions from myself and the rest of the crew. This behavior has only exacerbated since encountering the cave. Enclosed is an instrument that may be needed in some time. If you find said instrument to be missing from this cairn, then you will know that the worst has occurred. If you are reading this in our wake, another poor crew sent to this isle, heed my advice. Turn back. There is something truly wrong with this land. has felt the touch of the three sisters cursed to swallow poor sailors whole. If you're wise, you will not allow it to happen to you. Turn back. Signed, Bertram Reynolds, head scout of the Viscount.
Tight.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. Yeah. Bertram Reynolds. Smokey the Band. No. Yeah. So, what'd you guys think after reading this letter?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Viscount is near.
we
Potentially.
actually went back.
Yeah.
This is like
What?
this is the first moment of my catastrophic failure towards the end of the game here, where I did read that quite literally and made my decisions based off it
Turn
later on. So
Oh, yeah.
this is a little snippet. But I did find the bolt action rifle. I did get 40 food. I don't know if everybody got 40 food. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Which I wrote, thank God, because I was very low. And I don't know how much further we were going,
So now is there one more thing to do? You do the burial thing.
Yes.
There's a couple more conversations.
Okay.
Kurt and Kasha get into a fight, actually.
Right.
Basically, hashtag free speech. Kurt's kind of mad at Kasha that she's not going to like doctor up her reporting and stories to
She's
make
got her
everything
own
look.
doctoring up to do.
Oh, she does.
Oh,
But yeah, she's basically like, I'm just gonna tell it like it is because that's what happened. And Kurt's like, you can't do that. You're gonna make us all look bad. And she's like, so what? And they just kind of go back and forth. Nutley said he let Hunt abandon us, which he saw Hunt and the
Little bitch.
the little mutineer. No, that's not the right word. The people who left with Hunt take the lifeboat and some supplies and head out whenever he disappeared. He tells us that they both actually saw each other, Hunt and Nutley, but Nutley didn't do anything about it until now. I told him I don't care, but like, be better, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, learn from your mistakes, bro.
Yep, same exact.
I told him it's okay, bro. Don't worry about it.
Of course he would. Got a coddle, little Nutley.
Man of the people. Yep, man
Yeah.
of the people.
Templeton says with the findings in the rock locker, the mission can continue.
This
I
dude's
tell him
jonesing.
his mission is over. I'm like, bro, dude, we are like trying to not die. I don't care about your dumb canning company research. He also asked where the captain's hat went. I told him I gave it to Junior.
Told him I lost it because I honestly don't remember any. Like that was at the beginning of the game. I think I was like, forget about this thing. I don't want it. It's not bad luck to wear a dead man's hat.
Yeah. Yes.
but he's not.
Oh wow, spoiler. Jeez.
What?
What are you
Jeez,
doing,
dude.
Dad?
After this, we get to the eulogy, of course. I started out by saying the weight of the lost is on my shoulders. I chose to read all of the names that we lost along the way, including Hunt and the Abandoneers, plus the dogs
That you
That
I
you killed.
massacred.
that I lost
But still have.
intentionally.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
in a crate.
They're actually not lost.
that you
guys.
still,
They're
yeah,
right
they're right here. We're gonna eat them in a couple days. Just relax. Dude, the
with
worst. I got to be honest. The worst part of this game emotionally was the dogs on the cliff watching you leave, and you
Yeah.
had to like shoot, and they were like all lined up on that. You didn't get to see that because you killed them
Yeah.
all. But
Yeah.
just
Got a
so
little
sad,
closer.
dude. It was so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that part was brutal, it seems, with either option you chose.
Yeah.
But in reading the dogs' names too in the eulogy, I gained Cordell's loyalty. Did you guys read everyone's names? Did you leave Hunt's like little crew out? Did you reference the dogs? Did you note any of that down at all?
All I put was it was like, how will you deliver them? And I put with renewed optimism as the only thing I wrote down, which was one of the options for one of the parts of the conversation. But that's all I think I wrote.
No one's died other than the dogs. I guess that's some like short, sweet words about.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Nick's got
every-
the perfect
Nick's
game
got the
going over.
Yeah.
No one's dead. So
He's just like, what are we even doing?
Why?
At the
Yeah.
grave, guys.
I'm trying to remember if someone. I don't think anyone died.
What about you, Dad? What did you say to yourself at the mass grave site?
I said, you did your best, but not really. We'll go back and try it again, a couple more times. I did get 50 decorum.
Yeah, same. Which was nice because I was at 0, even though I was sitting pretty at 94 before this.
Yeah.
week.
See? All that decorum doesn't matter, man. Gets wiped out.
Yep. So anything else before we end the week?
Now, is this where the plethora of conversations to have in the camp is?
Maybe. Half my
Yeah.
crew's dead, Nick. And
Oh,
all
that's
of
true.
your
Yeah.
dad's crew's
Yeah,
dead.
we don't have a plethora of conversations. You might.
I mean,
have.
you can tell us about your
Yeah,
situation.
please do.
There. So for once, there were so many dots on my screen. I did not do them all. I did the yellow ones because those ones are important. Did you guys get the love interest bit?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I did get that.
Isn't that later?
we get that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
That's at
understand.
the peak of the
That's-
mountain.
Yeah, that's at week 39 for me.
Okay, then I'm
There's
thinking
one
about
more thing that happens in my notes before that.
Yeah. So we go to end the week here, and I'm sawing logs, streaming them on the Temperance,
Hmm.
only to be woken up by Hammond violently shaking me out of my slumber.
the man himself.
That's right. He says Cordell took off with the gun, the food, and the fuel.
Not
I'm
all
like-
of it.
I'm like, what? Lead the way, bro.
Yep.
And
This was a cool interaction.
yeah, so he did, and I'm like, there's no way Cordell did this. What's this man thinking? Well, we do actually find her after a while of trekking in the snow. And when we find her, I tell Hammond, like, all right, you can head back. I'll take care of this. He didn't like that, by the way. He was a little ticked, but I got him to go back finally. We find out that Stanberry is pregnant, which I didn't even know Stanberry was a female, but she is. And we're left with 2 options. Whoa, as I ripped my microphone off my desk. Sorry about that.
Did you kill
Um,
Stanberry too?
You might as well,
did.
man. Take them all out.
Did you eat Stanberry's babies by chance?
little veal, parmesan.
Ugh,
No, so we're left with 2 options here. We can tell her to do what's best for the pups, or you
Well,
can
before
draw
that. Okay, really?
I'll just say you can draw your gun. Those are the 2 options I had.
Yeah. Draw down or I
Yeah.
kept Hammond though. Hammond's my boy.
I
Oh,
did
did
too.
you?
Yeah.
I think I did
Yep,
too.
I kept them as well. Yep.
So I ended up not drawing my gun on her. So I'm not
What?
a monster. I already
I
drew
did-
my
did
gun on
you,
her
Dad?
dogs.
I
I
didn't.
convinced her to leave the supplies and gun, and I let her go, thinking that I might be able to find her later.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
And then, well, what do you want me to do?
Wait, you convinced
Hold
her
her
to drop
hostage?
all her shit and then be like, bye.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
you
I didn't
murdered
think
her,
she was
bro.
gonna actually go.
Dude,
Oh.
did you not get the option to call for Stanberry?
No,
That was an option. I did not choose that one.
I
I
chose
don't
that
think
one.
so.
So yeah, that's dirty though, because so like you get to that point,
You
you
tell her
either-
to go, and
you
then
either
you
tell her
take the
pound
dog.
salt, you can shoot her, you can try to talk her down off the ledge.
Yeah.
That's what I
or
did.
You
Yeah.
can call Stanberry. So
Yeah,
I
so-
talked her down off the ledge.
So did
and got
I.
her to
Yep.
come
And
back.
she. Yep. I buttered
What
her up
happens
and
when
she
you
came back.
when you call a Stanberry?
Well, there was some dialogue before that.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think we were just kind of going back and forth, not really getting anywhere.
Right.
So then I just, all right, I'm going to call for the dog. So and that actually convinced her to come back.
Oh, cute.
Just another way to get to the same route we took. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here looking.
See, that option should have like made her like lose it and kill herself.
Right.
Yeah, that would have
Or to come back to her senses. Like,
Or
okay,
that.
I'm a
Yeah.
little crazy right now. I'm coming back.
Dude, I'm looking through my notes for the rest.
Glad you picked that because I was like, ooh, that's shiesty. Like, call the dog. Like,
call
come
the
here,
dog. Yeah.
come here, buddy.
Well, we just
Yeah.
kept going back and forth, not
Yeah.
really getting anywhere.
You can
Um,
get somewhere.
I
Slowly.
was just running out of patience.
I
Yes.
think she
Yep.
she just like left the food and guns
That's
and
nuts,
just
dude.
left.
Wow.
And I thought
Wow.
that wasn't gonna happen.
You
I
called
thought I
your
was gonna
bluff,
be able
bro.
yeah, take her talk her out of it and her to stay, but that's not what happened in mine. She just I was like, okay. I
Hopefully, you
mean,
never take that route with like anyone else you know. Like, you're like,
Oh.
fine, just do it.
well, because if I pulled the gun on her and I was like, stay, or I'm gonna shoot you, like what? That's
just-
also like what? I'm not a tyrant. You can make your own decision, but
You're not taking the stuff with you.
yeah, no, I
You
I
can
also
leave.
want to survive.
You can leave, but yeah.
But yeah, so then I go back and I told the crew the truth about what happened. So did she stay in all of yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dang,
Always
dude.
I
kinda
don't think
stay
I
after that.
I don't think I told the group what she did.
All right, well then we're at week 39. And this is the final week, guys. We made it to the end. Nick, I
Oh,
know the answer to
surprisingly.
you. You probably didn't have to do any restarts. That was a silly question. But Chad, did you have to do any restarts during this playthrough?
I did not. Well,
No?
earlier
this,
on
like,
in the playthrough,
this
but
chunk.
not this chunk. No.
Dad, did you?
No.
No, me either. We did it, guys. We
Yeah. I
did
was
it.
surprised.
There is
Um,
actually a restart coming up, but not this not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
But there was a reason why.
Okay. We'll see if that was justified or not. Yeah. So the start of week 39, we start venturing up the mountain
Oh yeah.
to find the Viscount. Kasha's taking pictures of everything. She's standing at the edge of the mountain taking
Like an idiot.
pictures. And the ice cracks. She slips. We lunge. We're able to save her, but the camera goes over. And the camera lands on the ice just below the cliff. And she wants to climb down to get it. What'd you guys do? Did you guys let her go get it?
I was like, yeah, if you want to do that, like, don't
Go
risk
get
our
it.
lives, but we'll watch.
Okay, so I'm the monster for letting someone just walk away from camp, and you're like, we're on the top of this like extremely snow-covered mountain in the Arctic. You
it's
can
her-
climb it if you want to get a dumb camera.
It's her camera. It's a free island. She can go try to get it.
Unbelievable.
But
Yeah,
luckily,
I tried
Kurt
to.
steps in.
Yeah, I think I tried to talk her out of it. It was
Yeah,
like it's just the
little bit.
camera. But then yeah, Kurt steps in to go and help her.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so Mike, did you just what happened? Like, did you get the Kurt thing,
I
or did you tie her up and drag her up the mountain?
Yeah, no, I
Like,
pulled out my gun. I was like, remember those dogs?
He showed her the dogs. in the crate.
Yeah,
You
that's
open the
true.
bag, their heads.
No, I'm like trying to talk her out of it, and I'm like, hey, you don't need the camera because the story comes from you, not the camera. And Kurt's just
Right.
like, whatever, dude, I'll get it. And I'm like, dude, you're like 60 and like
And you're
Okay.
dying.
have no heart function there, and you're massively overweight. There's no way you're like scaling this icy mountain
Wow.
to get this camera.
Was the
Um,
overweight bit in there? Or are you just making
no.
that up?
Yeah, that's actually
think it-
word for word the
I think it's
options
in
you
there.
had.
Yeah. You were fat.
No, I said, of course, I said no, and that's an order, and I ended up gaining both of their loyalty with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they get the
Um,
camera?
Nope.
That's boring as shit, dog. There's
she
a
get
way
the ca-
better.
Did you get the
Be-
camera?
Yeah.
dude. So like, remember that fight
You
they had
guys
before?
let old man Kurt.
Bro,
It got
Get
pretty
this.
scary there for a second too.
it was epic.
So I'm pretty sure that
From a
it does
movie.
get pretty it does get pretty epic and straight out of a movie. I agree, but I think she drops the camera for me.
Nope, not me.
No.
I-
But you
they
guys
recovered
got the camera.
Mhm.
They get down there.
Interesting.
They shimmy down there. Actually, I think she goes down. No.
They both go down.
They both go down.
Mhm.
There's a rope involved. They both are then suspended, like hanging, like
Well-
Uncharted style.
The funny part about that is the weight of the camera
Yeah,
sent them toppling
That was-
over the edge.
Yeah,
that was the first time I was like, "All right, that's
Okay.
dumb." Like, no.
It is I mean, we're in the like what 1800s here. What
That's
year are we
true.
in?
The camera could be pretty.
That
heavy.
camera's
Well,
probably
heavy.
pretty heavy.
It's not your
Enough to
Pixel
break that
9.
ice.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm interested to see what you guys picked as far as the commands here, because I commanded the crew to pull them up,
hmm
and then maybe I told her to drop the camera. Was that
You
an
could have,
option?
because that was an option because the rope was fraying at the edge.
Okay, maybe that.
and
maybe
the
I
weight
did
of the
tell them.
camera that was in there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought she
That
just flat
camera
out
must have been
dropped it,
really
but
heavy.
maybe I did. Yeah. Maybe I did tell
That's-
her to drop it. So what happens if you don't tell her to drop it? That you pull them back up and they're safe?
So he like jumps off of the
Yeah.
rope at one point and like climbs up, and then
Oh, I didn't get any of that.
He
yeah.
does basically he does like the stunts from his movies and
Yeah.
like does the legit thing that he does in his movies for real for once. And they have this huge bonding moment because they end up on the ledge again, and then they climb back up.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Whoa, dope!" And then they have a bonding moment. We're like, "That was pretty badass, bro!" And like it all worked out. It's a big party.
well, I think he at one point he was gonna cut the rope and just kill himself
Yeah, he was
So-
trying to
so
kill
they-
himself. Yeah, that is right.
to save
I
Kasha and the
talked him-
camera.
You can talk him out of killing himself.
Yeah.
And instead, okay, that's how the conversation goes. So the options are like you don't let him or her like do anything too much dumber than the situation they're already in. And then basically like you convince like in your movies basically,
Mhm.
and that like inspires him, or like he's like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's do it.
and he
That's
does it.
cool.
So mine didn't go that way at all. I think that we pulled them up on the rope. Like they didn't end up on the ledge. There was no climbing involved. It was just like everybody heave and pulled them up, I believe.
Oh wow.
So,
But drop the camera.
but drop the camera. I did have her drop the camera, so that might be the what changes that.
Maybe
that
you
part
had her
there.
drop
Yeah.
the camera, so then you guys just pulled them up and it was all fine.
I think that's
Whereas
it.
we
Yeah.
didn't have her
yeah.
do that, and we let them do some aerobatics down there on the road.
Well, yeah, because the picture that like is stuck in my mind is Kurt like this,
Yeah,
like
It's like-
up against the
yeah.
rock.
See, I was
That's
concerned
awful.
once I got the option to a second time to tell her to drop the camera. I was like, if I don't do this, like they're dead. They're both gonna die. So I was
Right.
like, just drop the fucking camera.
Well, no one's
Mm.
died in mine yet, so I'm like, I'm risking it, out
Yeah,
here.
you risk it. Yeah.
But then again, that doesn't matter. It's not like having more crew leads to better chances of success, because Dad had no crew and I had all the crew. So
I
it
had a
all
lot of
comes
crew
down
and
to
I
your
had no
same.
success. Yeah.
dialogue options.
Yeah.
it's
It,
been
it,
really
it
cool,
all comes
though.
down at the end to something that was way more important that I wasn't really focusing at all. You guys have all been focusing on like loyalty from members. I was not focusing.
I
I just was an asshole the whole time. So,
so was I. So was I. I didn't care about loyalty at all.
Oh,
no,
geez.
not at all.
I'm
But, Mike,
excited
you-
at how different our playthroughs have been. It's been
You
great.
just left the camera and like you guys just
Yeah,
kept
I was
going?
just like,
Okay.
guys, it's not
Gotcha.
worth. It's not worth it. You, the story lies within you, Kasha. You don't need pictures.
No. I would have like made the rope and like try to send it down and like scoop up the camera and pull it up.
Jeff would have
Yeah.
gone full on Sandlot, like trying to get
Yeah.
this camera.
Yeah.
Speaking of rip James Earl Jones, man,
Yeah.
I know, man.
lost
Brutal.
the legend.
Big sad.
All right, so once we after I tell them that they do like make up with each other from their past squabbles, so probably not as much of a bonding moment as like a near-death experience trying to retrieve a camera on like a super tall
Yeah.
icy mountain, but they
Yep.
do make up, which is nice.
Dad, did you have her take a photo of the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. So like you
did.
can once they're like okay or whatever, like you could tell her like to take a photo, I think, of like Kurt like monkey like in air. Like
Something.
it's
So
wild.
I'm pretty sure I got that option too, but when they were hanging on the rope.
Yeah.
Right.
It was,
He like
Gotcha,
looks up
snap
and is
a
like, take a
selfie real
picture.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, that's it. As they're
Maybe
on
what-
the freaking rope.
Oh my gosh.
Antics.
That's amazing. So we make it up to the top of the mountain and we set up camp, and
This is
we
camp.
we have the request tent, Templeton. He wants some direction. The Viscount lies in the cave and says if we miss the rescue, we have enough supplies at the cabin for a year to wait for another ship. So he wants us to choose between going to the Viscount or going to the rescue ship. His obvious preferred choice is to go to the Viscount. Kurt and Hammond, they're chatting. Kurt asks Hammond to join him on future expeditions. So we kind of get a little, whatever's left of your crew kind of having their little bonding moments as our journeys wrap up here. And speaking of Kasha and Nutley, we catch them kind of like making out behind the tent back there.
Busted.
Little freak
Um,
leaks.
Yeah, so there's been a little romance of brewing there in the doc's tent all these
Mhm.
weeks. Yeah, anything interesting that we left out before we
Well,
make our decision?
this is not an option for any of you because either one of them or both of them are dead. But the Stoke brothers,
Oh yes,
they basically affirm my awesomeness and they denounce the original captain, and I am they recognize me as like their captain.
oh wow,
Yeah, it was quite a
Oh,
moment.
nice.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I only have one
Uh,
live and he fucking hates my guts now. So
Yeah, he's
nothing like that.
negative
happened.
loyalty. So
Yeah. Did you guys answer Templeton? Did you get options to answer him through that?
not yet. We have that coming up here in a second.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
I
maybe
think
at
I
this
might have
point
had
you
it
can kind of like
the
be like,
request.
well, let's just
You
wait
can
a second.
placate him a little bit and
Yeah,
like
that's
kind
what I
of
did.
before you make the choice at the end of like the turn here.
Yeah.
You can basically
Yeah.
have a dialogue with him. Like you can either lean into him, reject him, or just be mysterious.
Yeah, that's what I put. I put surviving is the goal, not the Viscount. And then I said we should secure the cabin first before we do anything. And I don't know if that has, obviously, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with
Was he sad?
the
Did he
choice
try to
coming
kill
up.
you?
But no, he was pissed. Yeah. But he's an asshole, so I don't really care.
He doesn't like anything you say, so
Nothing you say. So what's it matter?
nothing.
So wait,
He's always
like you
gonna be
guys didn't have
disappointed.
a ton of awesome conversations about botany with him? You guys know he's a botanist, right?
Yeah, but I don't care.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't care.
I heard about that like the first 1 through 4 weeks, and then I didn't really care too much.
Every 4 weeks, you can talk
Yeah.
to him about it and catch up on your readings and ask him intriguing questions about why are you a botanist, bro? That's so weird.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
him. I didn't like him
Only-
from the
I don't
start.
like him either. No, I didn't either. I think the first episode I
The
said something
first
about not liking him.
moment, like before you get
Yeah.
onto the ship, I'm like, I don't like this guy. I want you.
Don't
I
like
want
this
to
guy.
throw him
Yeah.
overboard.
Little finger vibes for sure.
Yep. So it's decision time. So we have to choose between Finding the Viscount in the cave or going to the rescue ship.
What, Dad?
Did you guys find out that Lady Cordell is a noble?
Yes,
I didn't because she left.
that's right.
That is right. I thought
Yes.
that was pretty cool.
She's
Yeah,
of
so-
noble birth.
Talk about that.
Yeah, she's of noble birth. She used to be not a princess, but basically a princess. And she just ditched it. I
You
forget her
didn't want
reasoning.
that life.
Yeah, she just didn't want that life, so she
Hmm.
kind of became a recluse, started doing the dog thing. And I think a bit about that being included or not in the story comes up too. There's some options there, more just kind of like dialogue with the photographer gal.
Mm.
Because she's standing there too. Kasha is standing there, I think, in the conversation. And there's actually a lot of dialogue. I kind of like breezed through that because I
I
didn't
did
quite
too.
care, but that's
Well,
the
'cause-
gist of it.
Because there's a dialogue that said we could excuse ourselves from the conversation, but then
Right.
one of them says it's important or they want us to know.
Yeah.
So I stuck around.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Nice. Anything else before we make our decision?
No, those are big ones.
I don't think so. Yeah.
There's a ton of mine was just there's too much. Like I'm like, there's no, I can't.
All right. So what did you choose, Chad?
I chose to abandon the mission and seek the rescue ship.
Oh.
So what happened?
All right. All right.
Tell us.
I respect it.
So
I thought about it. For
am I
sure.
the only one
I
that
did
chose
too.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. Okay.
I
so
thought about it.
it's so it started with the warning from the letter, which was like turn around, like shit's bad. And there was like little snippets here and there, like we should be going to the rescue ship. So I was like, all right, go to the rescue ship. We get down there.
You must be an awesome
And-
roommate. So they just tell you, be like, don't go in my closet, bro. There's nothing there you want to see. You're
Yeah.
like, got it.
so we get down to the cabin. I can't remember exactly when it happens, but we see like an explosion up on the mountain, which is like a volcano exploding. So that again reaffirmed my thought that I made the right decision. I was like, we would have just all fucking died up there if we went up there. So I
makes
was like, yeah,
sense.
dude, I'm solid. Like I made the right choice finally in this game. So the rescue ship actually sees the volcano
I
explosion.
thought
and
you were going to
comes.
say it sank.
No.
Uh,
So how far do you want me to go here?
Just keep going.
I mean, none
Yeah,
of us
man.
know any of this.
Okay. So it comes, and then on the ship is this lady named Minerva, and I think she's like, did you guys get
Mhm.
Minerva at all?
she was mentioned.
we
Mention
you
learned
meet her.
about her a little bit.
I think she's like maybe the head of the canning company or president of the canning company or something.
Yep.
And
She's
she
important.
basically asks us like, where's the Viscount? We're like, we don't know. We didn't find it. And we explained to her, she's kind of confused that I'm the captain. She's wondering where the captain is that we sent. And we're like, he ran away. And she's like, that's not really that surprising, to be honest with you. I told her I took safety over the mission, which I thought was the right choice here. But
she kill you.
then it goes down to she's like, you're going to go to court when we get back, and you're going to be charged with this entire fiasco. And it goes down to a vote. So I had 8 people dead at the end of the game. And it goes down to a vote of who is loyal to you. And as I mentioned earlier, nobody's fucking loyal to me. So I mean, I had maybe
You do look like an asshole.
I had maybe two people that voted in my
Yeah.
favor. The rest all abstained from the vote.
Oh, no.
And I was taken prisoner and returned to the mainland to stand trial. And that's how
That's so I think that's the literal
Jeez.
opposite of mine
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
in every
Yeah.
sense. That's insane.
Yeah. And so
Dude.
I was like, I got to the point and I was like, everything building up to that point, I was like, I made the right decision. I made the right, like, the volcano exploded. We all would have died up there. It would have been mayhem. It would have been a wipe. I would have had to restart. And I had convinced myself that this was right. But then after the credits rolled and I learned nothing. I learned nothing at all besides the fact that I'm going to prison. That's what I learned. I'm in chains and I'm going to prison.
You got
So it was like
literally the worst end.
the worst ending. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm curious to see where you guys
Oh
went.
my gosh,
So
that's
knowing what-
hilarious.
knowing what, like, at least I know, and probably Mike and Dad know, I do have an issue right now with how that story plays out, because if Minerva could have just sailed to this island
Mine should
and
have
not
stayed
the
whole
with
winner,
time. The whole
Why-
time. Yeah.
what? Why?
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
Now,
tricky.
do we have Nick just go tell us like the perfect ending, or do we just eventually get there and end with Nick telling us the perfect ending? Maybe that's the way we end.
We should do
with
that.
the perfect
End with
ending.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Dad, what did you do?
All right. So I went in the cave.
Okay.
Was there option to split, or it's all for nothing? Like
I think it's
It's
all
all
at this
I-
point.
Yeah.
the option to, yeah, that comes later.
Yeah.
I was tossing around the idea of just going to the rescue ship, but I figured with the cabin supplies, like if we miss the ship, like, oh well, let's at least see what's in the cave and what's going on with the Viscount. So that was kind of like my thought process through it. But yes, Dad, what were we greeted with?
So we were
inside the
greeted
cave?
with the Viscount.
Maybe the most beautiful like
With
piece of art in the game, by the way.
oh,
Of
it was
course.
gorgeous. A massive tree.
Sending
of
it
life.
in our group Discord chat for
Peach
you. Fred.
tree of just
Yeah.
holy fruit.
Holy fruit. And there are roots throughout the whole boat. And we go all the way down to the bottom where the boiler room is. We find a key.
Mm-hmm.
Also see a dead body. Go back up to the captain's quarters. We unlock the door. We walk in
Wait,
and
wait. There is a bunch of conversation before, like on the ship, because like Templeton's jonesing. You have the option as a captain to be like, do you scream in excitement? Do you like hold your composure?
yeah. I remember
Templeton's
that.
losing his brains because he's a botanist and he found the thing that he probably knew he was going to find or trying to find.
You're right.
So there's like some cool little interactions there with the crew, because it's
I
like a moment
screamed,
of,
by the way.
me too, moment of light.
I think I did too.
The
Chad,
brothers like
I
the
sent
screen.
the picture of the Viscount in our Discord chat.
I screamed as well as I was being put into chains
Yeah.
all the way for
It's
my
awesome.
prison cell.
It's
Oh
awesome.
dang, it is
The-
freaking gorgeous
Dude,
though.
it was
The
cool.
tree growing in the middle of the Viscount is
Yeah,
so
dude.
sick looking.
Yeah.
And some of the context too is like the crew's spooked by it because it's like voodoo.
Not natural.
And it's like, do we test it? Do we go in it? Like, what do we do? And like, you make some decisions there, but ultimately go in it, and we get to where Dad left off. Sorry, Dad.
You're good. You're right though. I left all that out. So once we get to the captain's quarters, we see Captain Hunt.
Yes. Or is it a ghost of Captain Hunt? We don't know yet.
Dun, dun,
Um,
dun.
But there's some other things on the floor.
Yes, yes.
Some notes. There's one in particular that looked oddly familiar, like a drawing of a bunch of branches. You guys remember seeing that?
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope.
Huh. Okay. So
Explain.
Do tell.
I mean, it would give away a lot if I explained it because I know what it is after
I mean,
talking to
where-
Hunt. Okay, so we talked to Hunt. He is talking crazy and he's trying to shove this peach in our face the whole time.
Eat this.
Eat this. So he's talking about like making different choices and like always coming to this moment
It's like in Matrix.
Dad's
In the third
picture
one.
is just his load files. All these branches, they all
All
lead
these
to the same
branches.
point.
So that's what the picture is on the floor that I picked up. It's actually the circles of the branches of the save.
Oh, that's cool.
nice.
That's awesome.
But then at the top it says she must not have it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense because he eventually
Minerva.
talks about Minerva
Yeah.
and how she's crazy and that she can't have it. She can't have the tree. She can't have the Viscount.
Yeah.
So then he goes on to say that he wants to burn it.
So
Now-
destroy it.
some
But wasn't-
details.
But
Go ahead.
didn't he ask, like, do you want to go back and do things differently and all that jazz?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
obviously said no because I'm like,
I-
perfect. But
I kind of
You
I
don't
kind of-
have to.
yeah, I
I
was like,
kind of
why would I
loosely-
do that?
loosely wrote down the combo like in shorthand, so
Did anyone eat
I'll
speech?
run through it. I did not know.
Nice.
That was that your restart that you're talking
Yeah.
about, Dad? Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
I
it
wanted
does
to see.
restart it, or like
So from
takes you back to the tree.
it takes you back to the tree.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I would do that just to experience that.
Interesting. So here's a shorthand version of the conversation. We learn about Minerva. Minerva Apperton was a starlet husband. Her husband was the son of the canning company, and he died. And it's kind of maybe, a little mysterious, up in the air. Some people think that maybe she actually killed him. Before answering my questions, he asked, which Shaw is he speaking with? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he doesn't elaborate. And then he starts asking about the Stoke brothers, which, still kind of a little touchy subject for me,
And
especially for Dad.
they're all dead.
Yeah. He asked about, some other things about the crew. I told him to cut it and just get to the point. Like, what are you talking about? He said that there were 4 of them that left, like when he left the Temperance.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't expressly state this, but heavily implies that he ate them. And to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And-
man, you guys are
Yeah.
brothers. Look at you.
Um,
You're like, yeah, man, I ate some dogs. It's close enough.
I did not eat the dogs, you monster. But I'm like, it's okay, bro. We all make mistakes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And actually the whole detail of that conversation is kind of wild because he's like, yeah, eventually, like, the last one just like volunteered herself,
But
himself,
did
or whatever.
she? I think it was
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, he ate the crew that left with him. And then he goes on telling me if I eat the fruit, I'll go back. Maybe like Nick and be the pale god. I don't know. I'll never know. I decline. I got an achievement for declining. He then asks if we're taking the tree back to the Appertons. I say yes. He says, like Jeff said, he's going to burn it down. Apparently, the fruit allows you to go back in time, or like a multiverse thing. We come out to the crew. There's a whole bunch of dialogue, basically explaining more of that, and Hunt kind of talking nonsense and whatnot. And he wants to burn the tree down and orders us to do so as captain. Before we get into the next part, is there anything important that I've left out of this conversation, Nick or Dad?
Hammond has noted that the ship is sailable. So
Yes.
like it's in good condition. So there's the idea in the air that you could sail this thing out of this mountain cave.
With a
Which
giant
is
tree
crazy.
on
With a
it.
giant tree on it. So there's a lot of complexity to how your decision, like what's influencing your decision, because one hand, Templeton wants to study it. Hammond wants to preserve the boat and get the hell out of here. Hunt wants to just burn it, but that would destroy the ship. So like there's a lot of things going on here. There's also still the idea that the rescue ship is coming, and that like you could send people to go like hail that thing down,
Mhm.
burn the ship. So there's like a lot of weird things that are like suggesting what you pick, though. I guess you have those options. So there seems to be like a lot of different options you
Yeah.
could come out of this with.
Yeah. Anything else to add before we get into the next part, Dad?
He asked about the hat,
Oh yeah,
That's true. That's true. I told him.
and then he's
I'll
like,
give
"I
it to
didn't like
Junior.
the hat anyway."
damn
Yeah.
sad. Yeah.
So like I said, he tells us to burn the tree down. He orders us to do so as captain. Templeton then speaks out, and he's like, pushes up his glasses. Actually,
Oh boy.
you're not the captain, and this circumstance requires another vote for captain.
Mm.
Which of course, because that's exactly what he would say. So
Great
Templeton
timing too.
nominates himself as a candidate
What?
for captain in my playthrough.
Does he
How did
not?
it? Is this what happened for you, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened for you, Nick?
It's me or Hunt,
Okay,
and we each give a speech.
okay, yeah, no. So the voting commences.
Do you pick a
It's-
first mate?
yeah.
Not till the end of the
Yeah,
vote.
about to go
Yeah,
through
right.
that.
Yep.
So it's the nominees are myself, Hunt, or Templeton.
Wow.
Yep.
Hunt chooses Junior as his first mate. Not shocked there. Do you want to guess who Templeton chooses his first mate, Nick?
Cordell.
Well, she's not there.
Oh, sorry,
in
Hammond.
mine.
Hammond.
Yeah, he actually chooses Hammond, which
Wow.
doesn't quite make sense to me because Hammond kind of always gave him a hard
Yeah.
time. I mean, I guess they agreed on some things.
Yeah,
But-
they did.
I always felt like it was a choice between the two of them, and we pissed one of
Right.
them off.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why I was a little confused about that.
Yeah.
Well, I will backtrack back to like the last camp. A ton of my conversations with the main people revolved around, hey, you want to work together in the future? I got that from
Mhm.
everybody, and everyone else wanted to work together.
Yeah, the people who were still alive had those same things
Okay.
with me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's Hunt with Junior as his first mate, Templeton with Hammond as his first mate, or me. And we don't choose our first mate until after we give a little speech. So let me see. Okay, so Hunt and Templeton give their speeches. I didn't really note them down, but
Templeton goes off.
Templeton's just a douche, and he's just like, Shaw's kind of. You really think he was a good captain? Look what happened. I mean, in Dad's run, Templeton may have had a point.
Yeah,
In my run,
He almost won.
in my run, I mean, my crew was happy. I had some loyalty. We survived. We were warm. We ate. I took care of them. We didn't have to eat people or dogs.
My last significant conversation with Templeton was him telling me I was a good captain.
Wow.
Good for you, Nick.
Hunt rambles on about how I was your captain, but you were my crew. Like I should still be your captain. It was a pretty dumb speech, honestly.
Yeah.
And then we give our speech. Mine played out like this. I wrote down, so I'm just going to read it word for word. Let me be clear. My opponents are an opportunistic snake and a man who has committed the worst crime imaginable upon his crew. You may not see me as the perfect candidate, but I have not, nor will I fall so far as Rufus Hunt. I believe that the key to a true leader is understanding, and I like to think I've come to understand you all a great deal in our time together. I may not have always displayed as much, but I've learned from each of our interactions. I see before me many different faces from many different backgrounds, and yet look at you. Here and now, you all stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder.
Suck.
We have more in common with each other than anyone else in this world. We have the numbers. We can sail the Viscount home, and that's what I intend to do. The time for fear is over. Let us all stand united and plunge plunge ourselves headfirst into the depths.
Let's
That's-
plunder ourselves.
Plunger. Let's plunger ourselves headfirst into the depths. Yeah, let's plunge ourselves into the depths. So that was my speech. Did yours kind of play out the same, guys, or?
More or less. I maybe was a little bit shorter on the dialogue. I usually
Mine
try
was-
to be abridged.
Mine was a lot shorter and something about willpower.
Yeah.
So the options for me for first mate were Kasha, Nutley, or Kurt. I chose Kurt.
Wow.
Dad, who were your options?
Not a lot. I ended up picking Cordell.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's noble.
Literally. Nick?
Literally. Yeah.
So since it was just Hunt
So no one
Versus-
picked.
versus
Hunt,
me, Hunt was like, he gave his speech and he's like, "Yo, my boy, Grimly, let me get those kind words." And Grimly's like, "Nah, Doug, I ain't about that."
Oh wow.
Just straight up, just like he had denied.
Oh, dang.
That's
So
great.
then I give my speech, and then I have just everyone to pick from, and I'm like, "Yo, my boy Hammond, dog, get over here."
That makes sense.
Yep,
That makes so much
I
sense.
had to do it.
That's hilarious. All right. Well,
Wow.
the voting happened. Junior and another sailor abstained from voting. The engineer crew, of course, which I believe were only two people,
Yeah.
voted for Templeton, and I ended up winning with 6 votes, being the Scouts, Nutley, Kurt, and Kasha.
I guess smart
so yeah.
picking Kurt because he has the scout power, and there's like 3
Yeah.
of them.
That's true. I didn't really think too much into like who was
Me neither.
behind Kurt. He was the most loyal probably with me. But like you said, he has his scouts. I'm assuming he probably had Kasha, and whoever Kasha went with, of course, Nutley was going to go with because
Bobs.
So yeah,
Did
exactly.
anyone vote for Hunt in either of your scenarios? No.
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 Okay, loser.
So I finished with 10 people dead, by the way. There's still a little bit left to go, but I just wanted to note that 10 people of my crew died, which kind of sucked. That's like almost half. Yeah,
no.
so
Wait, how did your votes go, Dad?
yeah, what
Um,
happened in yours? Did you
Three-
lose?
No. It was
No.
3-2, me over Templeton.
Well, I guess yeah.
Five
There's not a
votes.
lot of people left.
3-2.
Uh-huh.
So he had what,
Yes,
his scientists, and you had,
No, he had
and who's your first mate?
Templeton picked
Cordell was his first
Hammond.
Oh,
mate.
that's right.
I had Cordell and Hunt had no one.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, because that would be 2. So I only had 8 people alive.
And I'm assuming just everyone voted for you, Nick.
Correct.
Wow.
All 23 or 4, 3, because I was one of them. Yeah, so I got 23 votes straight up.
Wow.
Dang.
Insane. The
Nice.
pale god.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Unanimous.
So like I said in my speech, I planned to sail the Viscount home. So I guess that's what I did. I did have the option to send an envoy out on a lifeboat to hail the rescue ship to lead them to the Viscount, which I did. Oh, so wait. Here are the 3 options. You could do that, what I just said. Send an envoy out to hail the rescue ship to lead them to the Viscount. You could burn the tree down, or you could just sail the Viscount. I sent out the envoy to the rescue ship to lead them to the Viscount.
Oh, why would
What
you
did
do
you-
that?
Because I just felt like
Oh, because you're not sailing the Viscount. You're just kind of posting up, and you're like, "Hey, come check this out," kind of thing.
Because
Like,
that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
See,
Nick,
could've
what
done
did
all-
what did you do, Nick?
Boy, we ponied up and we sailed that effort out of there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. What did you do,
Wow.
Dan?
You burned
Okay.
it down, didn't you?
I did a couple things. My first thing is I restrained Hunt.
Right.
Oh yeah, that definitely happened.
I let Templeton stay free,
Yep, same.
and I don't know why I did this. I must have been really tired. I stayed behind and let Cordell take everyone home.
What?
What?
That's an option.
I didn't even-
So the game
I
ends.
I was so ashamed of myself and my
you
choice.
just like go.
I just-
Like I
just
can't
go
go back
without
home.
me.
Just leave me.
I
I'm
can't go
gonna-
back home.
I can't go back home after this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I did reload. If you guys want to know what I did,
Yeah.
the second. Okay.
But like, what happens? Did you like let it play all the way out before you reloaded?
Yeah, nothing happened. Like it was just the credit screen.
Oh, the
Wow.
credits just roll.
Yeah.
Nothing happens after the credits or
I
anything.
don't-
You're just like
Wow. that's
chilling in
cool.
the mountain.
I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Die.
It's
You have
just,
the cabin.
That's
So-
true.
yeah, but it
Sure.
just
Yeah.
it was just over.
So what happened when you
Um,
reloaded then?
So you're like, this is
That's so
crap. I'm
funny.
reloading.
So I went back and I ate the fruit. So now so what it does is every point, like every week, you can branch off. Like
Okay.
when you go to like continue or like reload
Yeah.
something, you can branch off wherever you want, only in that timeline.
So that's what I was originally talking about, like last week, where I was like, I wish you could do that. So that unlocks.
So
the
that
ability.
unlocks-
That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty
Mm.
sweet. So I burned the tree. Damn. I left Hunt and Templeton marooned.
They deserve it. Let's be honest.
Oh my
And then it was amazing because they were bickering back and forth on this piece of ice. I was like, I really hope Hunt eats him.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to hope very much.
That was, oh man, that was the best ending. I'm glad I went back and did that.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And
that's
then there's more stuff that happens after the credits.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Um,
that was the highlight of the whole playthrough.
That's
Finally,
hilarious. Again, we ended up covering all the options. So I send out the envoy on the lifeboat to hail the rescue ship and lead them to the Viscount, which was Kurt and I. We sailed out. After a week's sail, we find land. On land, there's a building, and we go into it, and then the game ends.
Yep.
So, Nick, what happened when you sailed? Like anything?
So we sailed. We maroon Hunt because forget that. Like, dude's lost his mind. He can just stay. We all sail out of there. And there's a lot of conversations on the waves, like about different things with different people. Like there's a lot of just kind of like dialogue there where we're either gazing at the tree, talking about the tree, what we're gonna do. Like I have the options of do we turn it into Minerva? Do we like ditch it, burn it kind of situation? At the next stop. So it's like return to Minerva at the next point, like scuttle it kind of situation, or like keep it for ourselves kind of ordeal. There's those options that I get further choice in doing, which I assume you didn't, because Mike, you gave it to Minerva because she came along.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dad burned it down.
I
So
burn it.
Dad burned it down, but
yeah. So
sailed
what did you
out.
do?
What did I do?
Mhm.
As I was sailing along, did not give it to Minerva. I believe. Wish I could remember. We did not give it to Minerva. That was the important thing, because that comes later in some after credit stuff. I think we burn it. Or do we? Wow, I forgot. We don't give it to her, but there were two options in terms of either getting rid of it or taking it somewhere else.
Yeah, so sorry, I had to burp there. So like Dad said, I tied Hunt up, but you are also asked if you want to restrain Templeton because he, tried to start a coup essentially, and I did not restrain him at all. But in my playthrough, they both went back with me. I didn't maroon them because I'm not a monster like you guys.
Yet you've done.
We don't want to talk about Cordell, okay? He like reverse psychologied me, okay? I was trying to talk her back with us, but she just left. So some weeks later, there's a cutscene. Kasha is getting ready to publish a report. So this is, I guess post credits or like after the game's complete. Kasha is getting ready to publish a report, and she's like on the phone with her editors or somebody, and they want her to remove the bit about the tree because it's not believable. But she convinces them to leave it or she's going to walk.
Mm-hmm.
And did you guys get a similar thing with Kasha?
She's at like the printing press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Kurt and Hammond are working on a play retelling the story.
Yeah, I love it.
Like on the stage, like
Yeah.
rehearsing scenes. Like it's great. Junior.
And I took it that
Go ahead.
I was going
Go
to say, I think Cordell was going to watch their show because she was all dressed up in
I
her
didn't
formal
have Cordell.
attire.
I didn't have her, so
Yeah.
I wonder if that would have played out differently based on their little fight on the ice.
Right. Yeah.
Because they made up, obviously. But
I wonder if
Yeah.
there's a way that they don't make up. It's a good question. Next on my list, Junior. This is very sad. He's
Oh, no.
just chilling in an alley in the rain like he's homeless, just sitting on
Damn.
the side of the
Wow.
road with
Wow.
Grimley's accordion begging for money.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Brutal.
You killed his brother and then you left him homeless.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's alive in my playthrough, unlike Dad's. So
yeah.
what happened
No
to
one's alive.
Junior and Grimley in your playthrough, Nick?
I don't remember a cutscene for them.
What? This is the most important part of the game, Nick. Need to know
don't
what
think-
happened to our crew.
Well, I got other cuts. There are so many freaking
Okay.
cutscenes.
Okay. Well, at least they probably are doing much better than my Junior. And definitely better than my Grimley because he's dead at the bottom of the ocean. The next cutscene, Kasha and Nutley are going into his dad's barbershop. He's greeted by a loving hug. Nutley gives his dad the letter that he wrote.
That
if you
you
guys
read.
remember that I read but gave back to him. And tells him to read it when he isn't there. And he introduces, of course, Kasha to his father. Similar for you guys? Take it?
Yep.
Next, I only have two more. Templeton, by the way, he's in his office at Apperton growing some of the fruit because he took one of the peaches. So he's got like a little tree in a pot, like growing, and he's like holding the fruit, looking at it, and hears someone come, and he like puts it in his pocket. What happened to Templeton? Well, he's marooned on the ice with Carnivorous Hunt in Dad's playthrough. What about you, Nick?
So is
Did
that
you have a
is it
cutscene?
all Templeton did?
Yeah, that's all
Okay.
I did for me.
So for me, Templeton, I think that much was true, but then Minerva shows up and she's like, "You wanted to see me?" And he's like, "Yo, I quit. You the devil." And
Wow.
Really?
yeah, he like has a turn of faith there because I've
You
Changed
broke
his
him.
life.
Because through the tree thing, yeah.
You saved him.
Yeah, I basically saved him. He quit. He
Oh.
told Minerva to go pound salt.
Wow. Interesting.
The Pale Beyond 2.
He's
Yeah, exactly. My last one was Hunt sitting in a jail cell, awaiting trial, talking to himself.
nice. Obviously, I didn't get that.
Yeah. So, Nick, were there any others that I didn't talk about?
Did you talk about Kasha and Nutley?
Yeah.
Went to the barbershop?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And Cordell and Stanberry.
Cordell and Stanberry, they were going to the play, all
okay.
dressed up. So,
Yeah.
But like, Kasha wrote the article, so it was like known who she was again. But like, so I think she like was in touch with all of that, but still had Stanberry there with her.
Did the camera like was there any mention of like pictures in her cutscene since you guys saved the camera?
I don't think they
I don't remember.
mentioned it, but there's the pictures were on the news clippings
Mm.
on the printer press. Like there were pictures included there. I wonder if maybe that differs because that was part of the dialogue. Is like there won't be any pictures to back up my story.
Oh, yeah.
Who else? I think that's everyone.
Runt.
Front and
I want to say they
his
probably
dad. They didn't get. It was only the main
like the big like
Oh,
Hammer,
the big
Kurt,
characters.
Tasha, Cordell. Yeah.
Or-
Okay.
yeah.
I think we have them all covered then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my final captain's log. Oh, the air was cold, of flake and white. The captain made a pledge. Out in the ice, I made a claim and carved a course ahead. To the souls around who brought me here beyond this polar's edge, a hunger drew the desperate here. It's one that I have fed. What did I do when steel hearts broke and courage did abscond? I learned to live a life out here, out in the pale
Pale
beyond.
Beyond. So poetic.
The end.
The end.
We did it. I can't
We
believe
made
Chad
it.
literally got the absolute worst ending.
I didn't. So I just looked it up. I didn't get the worst one. So
Ooh.
mine can branch off 3 different ways. I can either be arrested like I was. I can be pardoned for my crimes, apparently. Or I can be left stranded on the island as they all sail away without me. So I don't know if that goes up
geez.
to, I would imagine if you win that vote,
Yeah, you
that
probably
I
get
had,
pardoned.
you get pardoned. And if you get nobody to vote for you, I imagine you're left on the island. I at least had like 2 or 3.
That makes sense because when I maroon Kurt and like we make that decision, I get the achievement to that I marooned someone but did not get marooned.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
I have 55% of the achievements.
Very
Wow.
Nice.
nice. Steam is taking forever to open because I also wanted to see what my
Yeah.
achievement status was like. But yeah, so I guess final thoughts. What'd you guys think now that we're through? Now that we made it?
It's an awesome game.
Yeah,
I
you
liked
liked it?
Oh yeah. I like how much I like how I don't know the stakes like before like the big moments were kind of few and far between like
Mhm.
between the weeks. It was really just about surviving, but after you get over that hump like there's just a lot like the whole cliff thing, all the different things about finding the Viscount, obviously finding the Viscount or not. It really felt like a lot of your journey so far had importance toward the end, especially with all the different like options. Like I didn't even know boats didn't make it, so like that's cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, it was really cool. Like the reason I wanted to do this game and why I think games like this are so much fun to do in formats like this is because of the different possibilities of, the story playing out. And I think it's so cool that many times throughout this whole experience, we like all kind of did something different and all got a slightly different variation of different scenarios. So that was really cool to be able to talk through with everyone. While looking at my achievements though, apparently Cordell is somewhere out there on the ice alive still because I got the achievement to survive with Cordell alive and loyal to you. So
She was loyal when
What?
she ditched you.
Did you?
yeah,
Interesting.
I didn't get any cutscene at the end. I don't have her in any
Interesting.
notes
I have
since
that
that
achievement too.
conversation.
Yeah.
So she's alive now. There's somewhere.
Still loyal to you.
Yeah.
My rarest achievement is get marooned or maroon someone else, but I feel like everyone should get that. But why not? But, like-
I did not maroon anyone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Nor
he
did I
didn't.
get
Yeah.
marooned.
Yeah.
But Dad did. You marooned.
I marooned myself.
Yeah.
Hunt
Okay.
and Templeton.
Hilarious.
So that's a 4% of players have that achievement. Then 15% have survived the ice with all crew alive. 8% survive the ice with all crew alive and loyal.
Wow.
Dude.
That's higher than I thought it would be, though. 8%. But yeah, anyway, this game typically is not my cup of tea, but doing it in this form, like after we do Jedi Survivor, I would love for us to do like Detroit Become Human or something else that has
dude.
like big branching story
That'd
to
be
go off of, because that was really the best part. Yeah, that was the best part of this entire thing, was learning all the different choices that we made and how it all ended at the end. And I think I've never played Detroit. I played Heavy Rain. I think Detroit has a bunch of branching.
Oh, dude, the
things, right?
options for Detroit are insane. Like,
yeah.
After you complete a chapter, it like, I don't know if Heavy Rain did this because you and I are the opposite here. I have not played Heavy Rain, but played Detroit. After each chapter, it gives you the massive flow chart of all of the choices you could have made and which ones you chose and how the story played out in the chapter. And some of the chapters have like so many choices you can make.
Really?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. It would be cool to do for sure.
I mean, that would be a blast to play through, because even though I beat it, like there's so many different choices you can make. I probably would get a different. I know, like when I stream that, there's a playlist on Showboys Gaming. And shortly before I streamed it, BioCiv streamed it, and that's like why I wanted to play it. And as he was watching me play through my playthrough, he's like, dude, our like playthroughs are totally different. This is crazy.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, that would be a fun one to do. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Dad, what'd you think? You're like, don't ever make me do this again.
Sorry, I was just looking at Detroit Become Human.
Is he gonna buy it?
It's $12 on CD Keys right now.
Oh, it's probably pretty cheap anywhere.
It's not
it's
on
so good.
Steam.
It is so good.
Steam, it's $40.
Is it even on? I was gonna say,
It's
is it
on
even
Steam.
on Steam? Because I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive, but maybe I'm wrong in that.
It's
on Steam. I have
it in my
on
wish
Steam.
list.
I wonder if that's deck verified, because that'd be a pretty sweet Steam Deck game.
Should be.
Yeah.
Dad, didn't
so-
come to Xbox. Yeah, it's PlayStation and Windows.
It's verified for the deck.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Dad, what do you think of Pale? Give us your closing thoughts on the game as a whole.
Don't ever make me play this game again. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was all right. I feel like more towards the end, once I got into a rhythm of killing everyone, letting everyone die, I liked it because I played by my own rules. No, it was all right. It was all right. It's not my normal game, but
same.
It was cool. I was looking at my achievements. 21 out of 47.
21.
45%. Felt pretty good about that.
I think it's raining rather hard right now.
Cool.
It's Florida, bro.
I know.
bro.
It's like it's literally clockwork. This summer has been beautiful, except for as soon as I get off work, it's thunderstorms.
Yeah. What time you get off? 3?
Yep. Between like 3 and 4.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is the time, man. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I just sit here, look out the window. And I'm like, oh man, it's so nice out
it's-
today. I'm gonna go to the
yeah.
pool or something. Shut my computer off. Loudest thunder that
Yeah.
I've heard in my existence on Earth. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not doing anything. Yeah. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. This was fun, and I'm glad that we all made it through to the end. I'm glad I finally got to beat this game. And I really like playing through games like this. So Nick actually picked the first game that we did for a Patreon playthrough series, Tomb Raider. I picked this one, and Chad suggested Jedi Survivor, which it sounds like we're going to be doing for the next Patreon series. So after that game wraps up, Dad, I guess it's only natural that you would get to pick a game after that. So
I cannot
in-
wait to.
in about a year and a half, after we finish Jedi Survivor, with the way that we release these episodes,
Yeah, no kidding.
you know, maybe a cool game will be out that we could play. Yeah, thank you guys, all of our Patreon members. Hope
Red
you
Dead.
enjoyed the series. We
Red Dead,
really
yes.
appreciate your support. It means a lot to us, and helps us improve
Horizon.
the podcast down here. So thank you, and we'll see you next month in October.
Peace.
Bye.